My first PC was a 286, running at a whole 14 MHz. It even had SVGA, with an enormous for the time 17-inch CRT monitor. But as I have bemoaned elsewhere, a game with 256 colour VGA and Sound Blaster support was a rare treat. On a pocket money budget, those brand new big box games were few and far between. Most of our games came from well circulated floppy disks and bulletin boards. Freeware, shareware, demos, and nothing else. Honest. Some of that freeware was more than a little weird. Here's something you've probably never seen before. Orphan Nefer's NIOSA. This was written as an unofficial simulator of the Night in Old San Antonio festival. Unofficial to the point it landed the author in a little legal trouble with the event organisers. So here we go. Welcome to the joyous pink and cyan CGA palette. This is going to be such an aesthetically pleasing collection of gameplay footage, I can tell. We start with some explanation, and then enter our name. And hooray, we're at the forefront of gender circa 1987, aren't we? Alright, fine, it's just a choice of which sprite you get. One little unscheduled drop into CGA text mode, and finally, we can Neos. Oh, I see. It's one of those games. One resurrection later. Okay, so in a stunningly realistic move, we need some tickets. Now, we can buy beer. Oh, that went well. Yeah, so you get these messages telling you things you need to do on every screen. Let's find a restroom. Maybe I shouldn't go to NIOSA. Well, the point of this game is you wander around trying food and drink. Over that time you will lose your wallet multiple times, get a bunch of pointless telephone calls, and remind yourself that the 80s were a very different time on NIOSA's very own Screen of Cringe, the hallway of Uniyoshi. Some things are best left in the past. Let's see what my fortune says. Well, yes, I know that now. And, by the way, I've tried to find if these characters are meaningful language or just random scribbles, and I suspect, given the rest of this screen, it's most likely the latter. But if anybody is able to find an actual alphabet that these correspond to, and tell me the meaning, I would love to know. Or maybe, given the standard of this screen, I would not. Well, whatever it's called, let's give it a try anyway. Imagine if this was something you could buy at your local newsagent. Okay, other than the occasional food-induced levitation incident, there's not much more to this. Even at the time we knew this was some kind of weird freeware thing. Something you mostly kept around in case you encountered a bulletin board that only let you download files if you uploaded something they didn't already have. But that's why I wanted to show you this game. Because it's what I remember from the early days of PC gaming. Weird little promotional games, old software that had been pirated, not in our household of course, and things like this where one person had thought of an idea, programmed it entirely on their own, and uploaded to their local BBS. And there is almost nothing about this game out there on the internet. How many others exist that I don't know about? That disappeared on long forgotten floppy disks before they could be uploaded and preserved. So, yeah, There's not much to it. You spend a night at NIOSA, timed events happen, you never quite find your friend, and you will lose your wallet so many times. There's a little bit of life. Crowds build up and get in your way as the event goes on, and at the end of it you can either call a taxi or you can not. Even as a child, I had an inkling this game was weird, but it also built a world, and I think this is something that's easy to miss in our constantly connected times. If you grew up during the 80s, games weren't just games, they were entire spaces, a place it felt you could go. Whether it was being the most law-abiding of citizens in the city of Lytton, or seeing the world with Indiana Jones. You'd boot up Monkey Island, Zack McCracken, or, indeed, NIOSA, just to hang out somewhere that felt like it was different. In some cases, very different.